has those names, please send them to me. And I'd like to see the names anyway of who these people are. But we are being manipulated on a level that we never have been, probably in the history of our lives. And this right here, I have to say, I was excited when this thing started. And I was ready to jump on board with it. We've talked on this show about shutting down the banks and all that kind of stuff. When I saw it happening, I was getting excited. But then as I started to look at it, I said, oh my God, this could be the most dangerous movement that's ever happened in this country. And I'm serious about that. It's not a joke. This could be the nail in the coffin if it is what I think it is. Mm-hmm. And that's why if you're hearing this show today, and I mean this, please help spread this information to everybody you know, especially if you know people that are involved in these movements and these rallies. And tell them not to leave. Stay there. And start speaking the real manifesto. Abolish the Fed. Interest-free money. Get rid of the usury system. Kick the UN out of this country. Get rid of dual citizenship for people in our government. Get rid of the income tax. Secure the borders. I mean, their list of demands, folks, on their own site with the communist fist and the red Occupy as their logo. You can't get any more obvious than that. And they want a socialist health care. They want completely wide open borders. Folks, if it talks like a duck and walks like a duck, and smells like a piggy, then it's Zionism. We'll pick it up on the other side. Nonconformity Live, Tuesday edition, Oracle Broadcasting.
We rejoin you with Countdown. Michael Moore still with me, and I have much to ask him about two more topics. The execution of Troy Davis last night in Georgia, and our fourth story, Occupy Wall Street, Day 6. There are still several hundred on the streets of New York's financial district. They are still ignored by those who presumably support them, by those who oppose them, by those who should seemingly just be reporting on them. Why? Back with Michael after Countdown's brief visit to Occupy Wall Street.
We aren't going to put up with corporate corruption anymore. We aren't going to put up with corporate money in our politics, corporate money around the world, controlling everything, controlling all of our natural resources, controlling all of our lives.
There's a lot of people here that realize something's wrong, but they don't know what.
These big businesses like Bank of America and Exxon have so much influence over our government, they will never be held accountable until the people stand up and beg for justice.
We can televise, all of the protests in the Middle East, but we can't. This is happening in our own backyard, and why isn't this on TV? Why?
There are a bunch of people basically gambling with all of our futures, and I don't agree with that. I don't consent to that.
Our politicians no longer represent us, the people. The voice of the people has not been heard.
These people are out here talking about things that affect everybody. Problems with the banking system, problem with politics, my 401k plan, your 401k plan, problems with how that all works.
I lost my job, and I lost my health insurance. I sort of have a social safety net from the unemployment insurance, which citizens pay for. This is a difficult story to tell, and that it's still an unfolding story. And I think until there's a compelling narrative of why people have decided to peacefully occupy Zuccotti Park, I think it's very hard to communicate that story to everyone else.
Erica Ferrara got that for us. Thank you, Erica. Continuing now with Michael Moore. I asked Will Bunch this question last night. Let me ask a version of it to you tonight. That's 2,000 or 500 or 50 Tea Partiers there protesting taxes or protesting stimulus or anything else they don't like on Wall Street. It's on the evening news, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't need that many Tea Partiers there. It would be a top story. And the same thing a couple of weeks ago when 1,000 environmentalists were arrested at the White House Imagine 1,000 Tea Partiers arrested. I can't speak for why the networks have not covered this. This is really the very first, down on Wall Street, in the financial district, the very first attempt since the crash of '08 to take a real stand, and it's been powerful. And I gotta believe that even though it may only number in the hundreds right now, this is going to grow, not only on Wall Street, but in communities all over America. And I would encourage people watching this show to think about, okay, you can't make it to New York City, but there's a branch of Chase Bank in your town. There's a branch of Bank of America. And there's nothing preventing you from organizing a demonstration outside that branch with signs, with possibly even civil disobedience, to make your voices heard. They think they're going to get away with this. These people who stole the pension funds of the American public, who stole their money, who stole the future of our kids and grandkids, they think they're kleptomaniacs, and they think they're going to get away with it. They have taken our democracy and formed it into a kleptocracy. And if we don't stand up, if we don't have our voices heard, believe me, they're not done yet. There's a reason why corporate America, and I think you've pointed this out before, they're holding $2 trillion of cash in their bank accounts. They've never done.
Yeah, and I'm going to break this down. He talks a good game. Michael Moore, the fat-ass douchebag with the Communist Manifesto in his back pocket. He talks a good game. Of course he does. Yeah, he's telling the truth in a lot of that. Absolutely. The banks are the blame. Absolutely. But let's really dissect this. Because, again, you have to look at what they're really saying. This is going to get bigger. I know it is. This is going to expand. It's going to be all over the country. Civil disobedience, you need to engage it. He's not engaging in civil disobedience. His fat ass couldn't hang out in the jail more than 5 minutes without craving a chili dog or something. He wants you, the young people, to risk your lives, your future, on his socialist, communist, Marxist, Bolshevik, Zionist propaganda. Think he's driving around his limousine. You really think he really believes in equality and fairness and no money? He's driving around in a freaking limousine. This fat ass he's a multimillionaire. He wants you, the youth, to get out there and do as you are told by your communist masters. Unbelievable. Of course it's going to spread. Why? Because he's part of the game. He's part of the propaganda. It's been preordained for this to happen. They want chaos in the streets. They want disorder. They want workers of the world unite. Bolshevism. That's what they want. And folks, this is being financed. I can guarantee that we'll find out sooner or later, if we're not in a freaking gulag after this thing is over, that this thing was funded by the same banking interest that these people are protesting against. I'll bet you freaking money. When this thing is over, we'll find that out. But you know, would suck to find that out after things have really gone to the dumps, wouldn't it? Would suck to find that out. Oh, really? That was orchestrated by Bank of America? Oh, yeah, I'll take some more potato soup behind barbed wire. Come on, folks. Use your minds. Don't be manipulated like cattle by these propagandists. That's what they are. Divorce yourself from groupthink. Divorce yourself today from organizations. Be an individual. Do your own reading. Go to a library. Don't solely rely on the internet. You know, we should be changing our lives individually to get off of this system. Nonconformity, noncompliance. The last thing we need is another communist revolution in this country. I mean, we've already got communism in this country. That's why you don't have any jobs. That's why there is no economy. That's why all the things have been shipped overseas. Because of international freaking socialism. Corporatism, fascism, same freaking thing. Do some political science research. I went to school for political science. I know a little bit about it. I studied it a little bit. I'm not trying to brag, I just do. Fascism, communism are left-wing socialist structures. That's what they are. They're not on the right-wing side of anything. So now we see this thing taking place in New York. Now, why are they so concerned about preempting, in my opinion, a real possible revolution if the crap hits the fan? And, you know, this is kind of an interesting article. Going back to the Jewish Journal. We'll pick it up on the other side. I'll get into this Jewish Journal article from October 7th, 2008. And we'll break this down. Nonconformity Live, Tuesday edition, Oracle Broadcasting.
Sundays.
Yeah, welcome back. Nonconformity Live, Tuesday edition, exposing the Occupy Wall Street movement. Now, why would they want to move so quickly to finance? Because I think I've laid the groundwork on this show today and yesterday that the Zionist elite, the Jewish syndicate elite, not all of Jewish people, for Christ's sake, the criminals, the banksters, whatever you want to call them, are now preempting possibly something for real in this country, just like they did in Russia in 1917. That there was real movement for freedom in 1917 in Russia, with real issues, which was hijacked, as we said in the first hour, by the Bolsheviks, which were funded by the banks, which were funded by the Schiffs, the Warburgs, all of those scumbags, the Rothschild banking cartel, Zionist criminals. And it appears to me the same thing is being attempted here. Attempted. We can stop this. That's the important part. But there's an article going back to the JewishJournal.com. You can check this out for yourself if you're listening. JewishJournal.com, October 7th, 2008. Will Wall Street crisis spur anti-Semitism? Interesting. So this is when the crash had just occurred in Wall Street. And it goes on, it talks in this article. It says, there is definitely a fear among Jews within the industry. A Jewish employee with the top New York investment bank who asked this, his name be withheld. Quote, and it is because it's spreading past Wall Street now. There's a growing animosity towards the wealthy, and especially the wealthy that have made money on Wall Street in real estate and finance. And so many Jews have some legitimately, some not so. It is very easy to generalize that it must be the entire Jewish people. And this article is very important. And I'm not saying that it is the entire Jewish people. I don't believe that for a second. It's the elite criminal scumbags. People that know me know what I'm talking about. But this is important. Because these Zionists, piggies, I believe they knew real frustration was coming. So they just get in front of it and steer it into their direction. Steer it back to their power. Consolidate even further. And I state my case today on this show. Was it the 4th of October, Dave?
Today?
The 4th of October,
True.
2011, that this movement of Occupy Wall Street is a modern communist movement financed and completely controlled by the same interests that most people think they are protesting against.